I mean, AI Day culminated the announcement about Optimus, but before that, we also got a fascinating masterclass for AI in self-driving, too.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla's software and hardware engineers pulled back the curtain and showed us what they're working on, both on the software side, showing us how they're using computer vision and neural nets to predict the best course of action. I mean, how they're learning to label without the need for hundreds of humans to do it, and how they shifted from single snapshots of the world to continuously moving video and building vector maps of the world. Then they unveiled the hardware side, where Ganesh Venkataramanan, Tesla's senior director of Autopilot hardware and the leader of the Dojo project, he unveiled their incredible new Dojo D1 chip. It's a neural net chip built from the ground up that is energy efficient and fast. And then they took all of these D1 chips, they put them together into a training tile that looks like this. And then they took a bunch of those training tiles, put them together into an exapod supercomputer, which Elon says has enough power to simulate the human brain.
I mean, let's be honest. We're not computer scientists here.
Not by any stretch.
We'd like to be, but we're not. But most of the technical aspects of that, Tesla's engineers discussed and went over our heads. And let's remember, that's by design and that's the intention of it. I mean,
right.
Again, like you're saying, this is a casting call.
Right. This was not aimed at the average Joe. Elon wanted to recruit the best and the brightest minds to come work for Tesla. That was really the whole point of AI Day. Tesla is people limited, and that is their limiting factor at the moment. So this presentation was designed to excite those bright people out there and get them to apply to Tesla for jobs building these systems. If you got this presentation, if you understood what they're talking about, and you like working ridiculously long hours to build things that will change the world, then I hope you have applied to work at Tesla.
Great disclaimer, Zach. Yeah. The fact that the rest of us got to see what they're working on, though, that's also amazing.
Yeah, I mean, what I saw was a very confident team. In my opinion, it is only now a matter of time before the Tesla team solves self-driving. Being able to drive a car autonomously many times safer than a human looks like a certainty to me now. And that, to me, was a big takeaway from AI Day.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
I mean, let's just talk about one aspect of driving that makes it super dangerous called occlusion. So what is occlusion?
Occlusion is the fact that drivers can't see everything they need to see at all times while they're driving. I mean, what's just around the corner? Is there a person that's about to step out from behind the truck? You don't know what's coming at you at all points in time.
Exactly. It's our worst nightmare as a driver. Now, you might be saying a computer camera can't see those things any better than I can, but that's where you'd be wrong. And Andre talked about it.
This is a super useful hack because, say, in the car, the network needs to produce the velocity. It just has to use the historical information and guess what the velocity is. But here, we can look at both the history but also the future and basically cheat and get the correct answer of the kinematics, like velocity, acceleration, etc. One more advantage is that we can have like different tracks, but we can stitch them together even through occlusions. Because we know the future, we have future tracks, we can match them and then associate them. So here you can see the pedestrians on the other side of the road are persisted even through multiple occlusions by these cars. This is really important for the planner because the planner needs to know if it saw someone, it still needs to account for them even then they're occluded.
Yeah, and here's an important point that came out during AI Day. To computers, the world is moving really slow compared to what you and I processes at. Not only that, I mean, there's more eyes.
Yes.
We have 2.
Right.
It's like Tesla's got 8.
Yeah, you know what it feels like to be driving down a busy city street, right? All these pedestrians and bicyclists and cars moving around, crosswalks and traffic lights and cars changing lanes. You make split-second judgments about when it's safe to go and when it's not. And much of this is just built up from your experience.
I mean, much of that's built on sketchy data, but this, to them, it's like the Matrix. Like when the bullets are hurling past Keanu Reeves and he's doing the whole,
right?
You know, that's what the computers see.
Exactly.
It's not like me doing this to you. And you didn't react.
Right.
Like, so you're not reacting.
Right.
You're not
right.
reacting.
Right. Human reaction time is way slower than a computer reaction time. And in that split second when you decide it's safe to change lanes, what did you really see? I mean, everything is happening so fast. Do you really know where every other car and bike and person is?
That guy had a red shirt on that I just hit. Whoops. It's like that's all you got out of that. But to the computer,
right,
it analyzed the entire scene, and that's why AI is going to be superior to us.
Exactly.
Every time. It's always going to win.
I mean, to a computer, as Elon said, everything is moving slowly. He put it like this.
The thing to appreciate is that from the computer standpoint, everything is moving slowly. So to a human, things are moving fast. To the computer, they are not moving fast. You know, if you think it was like, going the other direction, like rendering, with full ray tracing, neural net enhanced graphics on something like Cyberpunk or any advanced video game, doing 60 frames a second, perfectly rendered. Like, how long would it take a person to even render one frame, and without any mistakes? Can't be done. I mean, it would take like a month just to render one frame out of 60 in a second in a video game. It's computers are fast and humans are slow.
And you have only 2 eyes in one location. Teslas have 8 eyes, all of them going around the car. They stitch together everything that's around you. You've got this 360-degree matrix. It's like,
Yeah.
how?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
In that split second when you decide to change lanes and you can't see that bike that's moving out from behind the parked car because you turned your head, the Tesla cameras catch it and react faster than a human because Tesla is working on prediction software. Where's that bike headed? Where is its trajectory?
And we've learned, I mean, they're getting really good at that.
One of the things we're seeing is that the car's predictive ability is eerily good. It's really getting better than human in terms of predicting, like you say, like predict what this road will look like when it's out of sight, like it's around the bend, and it predicts the road with very high accuracy, predict pedestrians or cyclists wherever behind, where it just sees a little corner of the bicycle and a little bit through the windows of the bus. And its ability to predict things is going to be much better than humans, like really way beyond.
Right. Yeah, we see this often where we have something that is not visible, but the neural network is making up stuff that actually is very sensible. Sometimes it's eerily good, and you have to you're wondering this is in the training set. And actually in the limit, you can imagine the neural net has enough parameters to potentially remember Earth. So in the limit, it could actually give you the correct answer, and it's kind of like an HD map baked into the weights of the neural net.
I want to talk about the simulation part of the presentation because it kind of blew my mind. I mean, how are we seeing a Cybertruck here? So, I mean, that's not a real Cybertruck.
No.
So, I mean, what? This is the part where I'm like, did they just like playing games at Tesla? Like, why are they taking the time to make a photorealistic simulation?
It's what you need to do.
But why?
It's not a game. If you're not trying to fabricate reality, you're not doing it right.
But,
it's not good enough.
So, I mean, Elon talked about how we don't have enough data of certain things. Like what?
Because we don't have as many crashes.
But why do we need to simulate crashes?
Because that's the most important thing. That's what we're worried about. Safety is number one.
Oh, I see. So basically, like this footage is showing here, you want to show things that you don't see very often, like people running down a highway.
Tesla has millions of miles of data, but not also to their credit. Fortunately, they don't have too much crash data because they've prevented so many crashes. So they have to simulate more problems than what you see.
And look at how photorealistic it is. Yeah. I mean, that's 500 million labeled cuboids, as they call them, which is, I mean, and now they don't have to do that with human labelers anymore. Right. It's done by computer. Mm-hmm. I was fascinated by how Tesla can take camera data from individual cars and then combine the data from the same place and create a bigger, more accurately labeled space. Check this out.
Cool thing is we can bring them all together into a single giant optimization. So here, these 16 different trips are organized aligned using various features such as road edges, lane lines. All of them should agree with each other and also agree with all of their image space observations. Together, this produces an effective way to label the road surface, not just where the car drove, but also in other locations that it hasn't driven yet.
It's just super intriguing to see how they stitch it all together.
Yeah. And all using just cameras. I mean, no LiDAR, no radar.
Who saw that coming? Like that was surprise.
Right.
We're going to take those out. And they've done this in just such a short time frame, too. Like, think about that. When Elon said that we're pivoting to cameras only, how long has it been?
Right.
It's been 3 months.
3 months. That's amazing. I mean, when they talked about asking the fleet for scenes of snow hitting the cameras off of trucks in front of them.
It produces lots of video clips where shit's falling out of all other vehicles. And we sent this through our auto labeling pipeline that was able to label 10K clips within a week. This would have taken several months with humans labeling every single clip here. So we did this for 200 different conditions, and we were able to very quickly create large data sets, and that's how we were able to remove this.
They were able to label 10,000 clips in less than a week to solve this problem when it normally would have taken months with humans.
Yeah. The problem being that you lose vision temporarily when snow hits the camera. I've thought this a lot. I've been like, well, they're never going to be able to drive these things in snow because of snow. But just like a human, you should remember where everything was before your vision got blocked. And that's
Right.
in early versions of FSD, it forgets. As soon as the camera gets blocked, it's like, oh, nothing is there.
What happened?
Right.
I don't recall. Where am I? Who am I?
Right. And now
What's my purpose?
check it out. They've solved that problem. And how'd they do it? Basically, they just said, we need 10,000 examples of this happening so we can train the computer. And they did. So I've watched AI Day multiple times now. And even though I still don't understand all of the jargon, what I do understand is that those Tesla engineers have a passion for what they're doing. And they have a confidence that they have cracked autonomy.
Yep. And if you want to learn what this means for Tesla stock price, you won't want to miss what we have on the Now You Know Investor Club channel bonus stories for this week.
So AI Day had all of these software and hardware engineers talking about all the different aspects of what they're doing. And yes, it took over 2 hours, but I think of this as a job fair. Saying to people out there, hey, look, we need all kinds of people who are good at all kinds of things like optical sensor manipulation and roboticists and camera designers. Tesla wants people who get the mission and are passionate. And I think Tesla did a great job with AI Day, and I think they accomplished their goal.
I mean, the markets and the media probably didn't get that. But
They did not.
That's generally what happens anyways at every Tesla event.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching Now You Know Clips. You can watch full episodes of Tesla Time News on Mondays and in-depths on Fridays. Just click the link down below to head over to the Now You Know channel.